Happy 2020. I'm so excited to be here with you today. It has been a while. And gosh, I just want to take a breath with you of just breathing in this new year. So this is why I'm so excited to be here with you today, because I have so many incredible colleagues who've been putting out all this amazing work out there about getting clarity about your year. And it makes a ton of sense, right? This is the year of 2020 vision. This is the year of clear vision. It makes sense to really look ahead and plan for the future and get excited about that. And I totally understand that. So, hello. For those of you who are new in my world, I am Debbie Lichter, founder of Freedom Embodied Academy, where the whole journey of Freedom Embodied Academy is to get free from the addictions and the patterns that are holding you back so that you can truly feel comfortable in your skin and authentically shine your light in the world. And one of the things that I have come to realize when I'm speaking with people in the academy, when I'm speaking with people just in my day-to-day life, is that I hear from so many people all the time, I want to get clarity. I need clarity, I want to get clarity, I want to get clarity. But when it really boils down to it, people want clarity. This is what I find. What we ultimately want is we're trying to get clear on how we can just feel more alive, more present, and more connected in our own lives right now, right? We just want to know, and we think that getting more clarity, that making a good plan, that getting this whole intricate, forecast of our year, of all the things we want to do and all the goals that we're going to hit is going to somehow position us to be able to just feel better about ourselves, better inside our skin, like our lives, love our lives, be excited, feel a sense of purpose, feel a sense of ease, feel a sense of comfort, feel a sense of connection. And what I want to say is, let's actually not feel like we have to jump through all these hoops in order to just be able to be present and alive and connected. Let's actually talk about right here, right now, what we can do to just start out your year being more present, feeling more connected, being more alive, having more of a sense of ease and comfort inside of your skin. If you're an aha to that, then just say yes in the comments so that I know that you're with me. And so instead of today coming in here and supporting you around creating your vision for 2020, because again, vision is something that happens up here. It happens through the third eye. It happens through this sort of seeing, either with our eyes or with our inner eyes. And it brings us up into our head. And you know, everything about me is wanting to bring you down out of your head into your body, into the rich juiciness of your life. And so what we're going to be talking about today is the anti-vision, the anti-2020 vision for how to ultimately feel present and connected in your life right here, right now. So if that's what you want to know more about, then just stick around. And what I've brought together, there's so many things. There's so many, as I was feeling into this over the last couple of days, I'm like, oh my gosh, there's so much actually that we can talk about this. I've reduced it down to 5 things that can become part of your anti-vision for 2020. So why don't you listen to these things and see if any or all of them resonate for you. And if they do, I would love for you to post in the comments which number or numbers you feel the most inspired to implement, not next week, not on this coming Monday, but right here, right now, because these are simple things. And when I say simple, I don't necessarily mean easy. In fact, there's one thing on here that I think I'm going to spend the rest of this year being a student of. I'm going to be a student of all these things probably for the rest of my life. But there's one thing that I'm like, ooh, that's really, really something that I need to work on more. So just listen for these things and see if they resonate for you, and take it to heart, take it to prayer. Hi, Pam. Mwah. Happy New Year. I'm excited to see you in just a little bit. It's really exciting. We have our ladies who graduated the Freedom Embodied Academy last year, including Miss Pam over here. We're having a beautiful celebration, feminine embodiment retreat coming up in a week. And some of the very things that we're talking about here today are part of what we're going to be speaking about at the retreat, because what we're really talking about here is we're talking about shifting from this very masculine dominated mindset of I've got to make a plan, I've got to figure things out, I've got to this is a very sort of masculine dominated way of operating. And what I'm inviting you into with the anti-vision for 2020 is really dropping into a more receptive place, a more open place, and actually a more divinely feminine place. Now, when I talk about masculine and feminine, I'm not just talking about men and women, right? We all have the divine masculine, divine feminine inside of us. But this is just a beautiful invitation to maybe try on a different way of being. And if you found yourself being overly dominated by trying to fix, control, plan, figure out, always being up in your head, always having an agenda, right? Then this is an opportunity for you to drop into a different way of being. And so it's a juicy invitation for you, for me, for all of us to start exploring what it's like to actually live from the feminine, to live from a place of receptivity. So we're going to dive more into this. Hey, Colleen, Happy New Year, beauty. Mwah, mwah. So glad that you are here live as well. And you're just in time for us to get into the 5 things we're going to talk about today for the anti-vision, for 2020. Okay, so here we are. So number 1, and this again is all how to be able to feel more present and connected in your life now. Not after you check more boxes, not after you jump through more hoops, not after you cross some finish line out there, but right here, right now. Number 1, operate from your wholeness. Operate from your wholeness. Here's the thing. Write this down, or write this in your memory, or write this in lipstick across the mirror in your bathroom. You are not a project that needs to be fixed. You are not a project that needs to be fixed. There's nothing about you that needs to be fixed. You're not a project. You are a person. You are a whole person who is exploring and learning and bumbling and stumbling his or her way through this life in the most beautiful way. And as a human, as a person, we are full of magic and mystery and messiness. We are full of contradiction. We are so many things. And what we get to do in this life is we get to continue to grow. We get to continue to explore. We get to continue to expand. We get to experience the contrast when we do certain things or when we feel certain ways, and then we start to calibrate to ways of more alignment and more congruence. This is all a part of this path of life, and it's beautiful. And the most important thing to get here is that there is no finish line to cross. I mean, I even share that with the ladies who are in the Freedom Embodied Academy, right, Colleen, right, Pam? There's no finish line to cross here. So, even on the path of getting free from addictions, there's no finish line to cross. Because the thing is that freedom is not something that I'm going to, one day, I'm going to cross this line and then all of a sudden everything's going to be perfect. I'm going to have like graduated or passed the test or whatever it is, and I move on with my life here. That's not what life is. We can experience freedom in our lives. We can embody the experience of freedom, of presence, of appreciation, of connection in our lives right here, right now, without anything else in our lives shifting or changing. This is possible. Freedom is not a destination. Freedom is a vibration. So that is something that I teach in the Academy. As it relates to operating from your wholeness, here's what's important is that if you are constantly thinking about, okay, I'll be able to finally be happy once I lose this weight. I'll be able to finally feel like I'm worthy and valuable after I make this amount of money, or after I'm in a relationship, or after I'm settled down, or after I have kids, or after I just get this promotion, or whatever it is. We're constantly placing something out there in the world, some hoop that we have to jump through in order for us to have the experience that we really ultimately want, that we just don't feel worthy of right now. And so what I'm inviting you into right now is, what if you were to operate from your wholeness? What if you were to operate from, I'm actually okay as I am right now. Things are okay right now. And I'm always going to be growing. I'm always going to be learning. But I actually get to experience the fullness of life right here, right now. That nothing about me is missing or broken. That there's nothing about me that's damaged. There's nothing about me that is undeserving. That I'm actually worthy to experience the fullness of life right here, right now. It's such a beautiful way. We can't be present if we're not operating from this place. If we're like, nope, I've got to fix this. Nope, don't look at me yet. Nope. I mean, like, I wouldn't be here talking to you right now. Nope, I haven't perfected what I'm going to say. I don't have all my lines down. No, this is what we do, right? We hide, we hold back constantly. And so this invitation, just put yourself out there, operate from your wholeness, be in the contradiction, be in the messiness. Say, hey, I'm doing human here. And as, hey, Patty, good morning. And as I share in the Academy, all we're doing is practicing doing human together. That is all we're doing. That is all we're doing. Let's take the pressure off, right? Take the pressure off, operate from your wholeness, practice doing human. So good, so good. Okay, so that's number one, how to be more present and connected in your life. If you just were to do that one thing, that's enough. That's amazing. That's super amazing. Like I said, it's not always easy to do. It's simple, not always easy. We have an entire program that's dedicated to cultivating this capacity. But this is a beautiful thing. Okay, number two is to get into your body daily. So just like I was sharing a few moments ago, having a vision is beautiful. Getting clarity, it's wonderful. But here's the thing, is that we've got to make sure that we are not putting so much importance on figuring things out right here, because figuring things out right here gives us better perspective. It allows us to see things better. But what that does, it also creates a separation between us and what we're seeing. And when you get into your body, you're actually embodying the moment right now. You're getting into the sensory experience of life. And this is so, so important. And so this is another thing that I just love to talk about, especially at the beginning of the year, because so many people, and I know I used to run a health club, okay? In my former life, I ran a health club. And first of the year, so many shops and stores are closed on January 1st, not a gym. A gym is not stupid. Gyms know that almost everybody has some kind of health goal, and they want to go to the gym first thing of the year. We were always open. That first week of January was super, super busy. And here's the thing, is that we put this emphasis on exercise. We put an emphasis on exercise, on losing weight or getting healthy or getting stronger or whatever the story is for you, right? And I'm inviting you here, instead of attaching to, I need to get more exercise and lose more weight and I have this fitness goal and whatever it is, that's all beautiful. And if we're talking about how to be more present and connected in our lives today, right here, right now, then don't worry about exercise. Think about movement, and rather, don't even think about it, just move. Do what moves you. Get out into nature, go for a walk. I mean, just move. I love playing music. I play music in the morning, I play it in the evening, and there's music that makes me just want to move. My body starts moving before I've even really thought about whether or not I wanted to move. It's like you just kind of get into the flow of that. Our bodies are designed to move. And so again, if your desire is to be more present and connected in your life, get into your body, move. And if you are right now sick in bed, I was talking to a client, she's like, I'm sick in bed. This is not a way that I wanted to welcome in my new year. You can still get into your body by doing some grounding, by doing some presencing, connecting into your pelvis, doing some breath work. There's always ways you can connect into your body, get out of your head. It's a way to feel more alive in the moment. You can never fully feel alive in the moment if you are up in your head. You just can't. Our head is where we're in conception land. But if you imagine every single moment of your life where you were gleeful, where you were just overjoyed, where you felt so alive, it was probably all times that you were connected in the moment, in your body. Something was happening. It was a full body experience. And if you've experienced that, I want to actually know in the comments. So just, if you want to share a little full body experience of like a concert that you went to, or, a mountain that you climbed or something, let us know. That would be amazing. Oh, I love that I'm holding this right now. So of course, those of you who know the Goddess Mama necklace, she represents the fullness of being a woman, the wholeness, right? She represents our wholeness. And she's got a big, full, round body right here. This is her body. And so this is a huge reminder to me every single day to get in my body. Okay, that is number 2. Hey, Lucy, good to see you. Okay, so number 3, we are talking about how to feel more present and connected in 2020, and we are going over the anti-vision for 2020. Instead of creating this clear vision and figuring it all out and having the full plan, which by the way, every time I try to do that, I don't know about you, but every time I try to create a clear plan of anything, writing like again the fresh piece of paper or the vision board out or whatever it is, I feel like there's this little voice that goes on the back of my head of like God or Goddess or, my higher self or whatever it is. It's like, you do realize that it's all going to work out and it's not going to look how you think it is. Like I literally got that on the first of the year. My favorite number is 1212. It just like, that's the thing. I see 1111, I see 1010, they're all fabulous. But when I see 1212, it's like something triggers my entire body. I feel super alive. It's always a listening. What do you got for me? Because I feel like it's a moment of complete synergy. And on January 1st today at 12:12, I listened in and I literally heard that. It said, everything's going to work out and it's not going to look the way that you think it is. And I was just laughing, right? So, this is the thing, is that whatever we think that we're creating, it's probably not going to go that way anyway. So why don't you just practice the anti-vision and just drop into being present and connected from the word go? That's what I say, but I'm just one opinion. Okay, so number 3, this is so great, big, huge. Oh my gosh, if you do this one thing, try this just for a week. Try this in your family. Try this with your loved ones for a week and see how your entire life shifts, how your relationships shift, how everything shifts in your world. You ready for those around you? Appreciate those around you. I have a dear friend, Mike Robbins, amazing guy, amazing father, amazing speaker, amazing leader, amazing author, and he speaks so much about the art of appreciation. And I love this so much. I feel like this is the one thing that always boils down to with me when I really think, how can I love my partner even more? How can I be more fulfilled in my life? I speak with so many people who say, I've got this so great life with so much to be grateful for, but I just don't feel alive in it. And I get it. I've been there so many times. This is an incredible tool. Find one thing that you appreciate about your life, one thing that you appreciate about the person that you are most connected with every single day, and let them know, hey, I really appreciate that you emptied out the dishwasher. That was so thoughtful. Thank you so much. Whatever it is, it doesn't matter. It is a game changer. It's a game changer. It will make them feel so amazing. It'll make you feel amazing. It's such a shift. It's such an energetic shift. It's so easy to focus on what's not working, right? My boyfriend tells me that all the time. He's like, stop focusing on what's not working. I'm always a work in progress here. And it's a beautiful reminder, because the moment I shift into appreciation, everything changes. And I'm not talking about being one of those Pollyanna people. You know that's not what I'm talking about. But there's something really magical about it. Yes, gratitude is the only attitude. Yes, no, absolutely, absolutely. It is so, so true. And, you know, so I'll share with you a little story, kind of like peel back the curtains a little bit of my life and some of the stuff that I do in my life to, you know, magnetize this incredible world, this incredible life that I get to have. So, I started this tradition with my partner last year. And so I used to live in the northern part of San Diego called North County, Encinitas. And what we started to do last year, we went on a walk. We love big walkers. We went on this big walk, and we started to walk, and we found ourselves, like a couple hours later, we found ourselves down in, you know, like kind of a midway. I mean, we've been walking for hours and hours. And we decided at the end of the day, we decided we were going to walk the entire way, all the way from North County, San Diego, all the way down to where we were planning to live together. He lived in Seattle at the time, where we were planning to live together at one point that year, which was in La Jolla. So we walked, and for those of you who are not familiar with San Diego, we walked about 17 miles that day, okay? And what we did the whole time was we spoke into, Pam, you'll love this. Hey, Laura Jo, so glad that you're here. So what we spoke into was what we were grateful for about what had happened that year. So we were speaking into the future, but we were speaking about it as if it had already happened, and we were grateful for it. So I'm so grateful that I got a new car. I love my new car. I love driving this new car. But I'm so grateful that we got to go on this trip this year. I'm so grateful, and we did it. We've spoken to all these things the whole way down. It was so fun. It was such a fun exercise, and it was incredible because this year we did get 2 new cars. We went on these amazing vacations. He did move down from Seattle. Then we have this beautiful home in La Jolla now. And, you know, all these beautiful things really, really happened. And it came from the energy of gratitude. Instead of like planning and visioning and, you know, making this goal, it came from just this bubbly, loving, juicy place of like, I'm so grateful that this happened without any attachment, without any agenda, just like, this is so great. And then all these beautiful things happened without us forcing or controlling any of it. So we decided to do that again this year. And we picked a new place in San Diego, and we walked back to our new home, and we did the same thing. So huge, and I love the word appreciation, because even more sort of, it's like to just appreciate. You know, sometimes when we think I'm going to be grateful for this, but like to let someone know, gosh, I so appreciate you. When's the last time that you let someone know, I really, really appreciate you? I really appreciate that you just, you know, whatever it was, opened my car door. I appreciate that you called me, that you remembered to call me. You know, whatever it is, that you remembered my birthday. I really, really appreciate that. It will go so far. It's such a huge game changer. There is always something to appreciate. Absolutely. Pure joy. Love it, love it, love it. Okay, so we're talking about number 4 in your 2020, starting right here, right now. And for those of you who are tuning in right now, instead of talking about the vision for 2020, we're talking about the anti-vision for 2020. We're not talking about getting this clarity and having your plans and having it all laid out. We're actually going in the complete opposite direction and saying, let's not do any of that. Let's just focus on how to be more present and connected and yummy and filled up right here, right now. So number 4. Number 4, this is the thing that I was saying that I probably will be spending the rest of this year and the rest of my life working on. And that's okay, because I get better and better at this all the time. And this is drop your agenda. Drop your agenda. So dropping your agenda means letting go of how you think things should be, or what you want things to be like, or how others should be, or what things should look like. Like, drop it. Drop the entire thing. So I'll give you a little funny little story here. So I had all of this. This is actually how I got to the anti-vision, okay? Like, I got to kind of like rewind a little bit and share with you how this all happened. Because I was like, this is a big deal. We are leaving a decade. Telling my partner, we are moving out of a decade. We're moving into a new decade. This is massive. This is so huge. I want to spend the 31st of December just going through all the things that we're grateful for about last year and all the lessons that we learned and putting together this whole thing, and then spend the whole new year talking about what we're creating in the year. And okay, this is where I was. And our day on the 31st just kept on like not stacking up in that way, like not lining up in that way. And I was getting more and more like, things need to be this way and come be over here. I was getting more forceful because I really thought this was going to be so important. Like, we're never going to experience this again in our lives. This is so big. This is so huge. You realize it's been 10 years. When I entered the decade last year, I was getting free of addiction. And now I'm leaving the decade and I'm free and I'm helping others to get free. I mean, it was like, I was like creating this huge, huge story. And the biggest lesson that I got, because none of it sort of none of it worked out. And the biggest thing that finally my partner got so irritated, I was like, truth be told, I got so irritated and exhausted. He's like, I'm going to bed. He went to bed at like 10 o'clock on the 31st. So much for my big plans. And that really, really was such a huge lesson for me of like, oh my gosh, what am I doing? What am I doing? Why am I placing so much importance on all of this? Because, you know, like what I teach is that any moment it can all be new again. Any moment we can completely shed whatever is not serving and step into a new way of being any moment. And so I really realized in that moment, I need to drop my agenda. I need to drop it. And here's what we get to do instead. We get to allow, wait for it, allow for things to unfold. Newsflash, right? Allow for things to unfold. This is a huge, huge, huge difference between leading from the masculine and leading from the feminine. So the masculine wants to have a plan. The masculine wants to know. The masculine has an idea of how things should be and wants to usher things along in that way. And hey, there are many healthy aspects to the masculine. We are not shaming and making that wrong. And what we're here talking about today is how to be more present and connected in your life right now. And so one of the biggest things that is getting in the way for you, for me, for all the people who do this, is having an attachment, having an agenda, having things need to be a certain way. So the invitation here for you, for me, and for anybody else who is listening right now is to allow for things to unfold. To allow for things to unfold. And this is, I want to know what this brings up for you. And I want to know from you if you find yourself one of those people who tends to have an idea of how things should go. And if things don't kind of work out that way, it kind of ruffles your feathers a little bit. I'm one of those people. I have to admit it. Like, I'm one of those people. And it's such a learning curve for me. And then it's a reminder. It's such a reminder of like, oh, right, my feathers are ruffled because I was attached to an agenda. And what would it be like to actually not need things to be my way? To not need things to go my way? What might that be like? What might that open me up to? And so I ask you the same thing. What might that open you up to if you don't need things to go your way? Oh my gosh. It's like your whole... Then we can start to get in rhythm with the flow and the stream of life. Then we can start to tune into and attune to the pulse of life as it's moving through us. If we no longer need to direct things, then we can be open to being moved, right? It is such a different way to operate in the world. Again, I share this from such an authentic place that, or such a transparent place rather, that this is an ongoing journey for me. It's an ongoing journey to lean into this even more. Even though I'm a teacher of it, I continue to be a student of it as well. And I invite for you to be a student of it as well. So, okay, that brings us to, I love these comments. Yay, yay, yay. Every day. Yes, every day is the start of a new decade. Yes, I love that. Every day is the start of a new decade. Right there, Joe, Laura Jo, you got it. 100%. And being in the moment, for sure. Okay, so number 5, how to be more present and connected in 2020, but really, let's just bring that to right here, right now. And this dovetails off of what we just spoke about, but it's a little bit different. And this is, don't know what comes next. Don't know what comes next. And let that be okay. So in the same way of allowing things to unfold, right? So that we can move out of the rigidity of life, of needing things to be a certain way, of the forcing and the pushing and the efforting and the trying to shape and mold and manage. And we allow for things to unfold. Then what we get to lean into as the next level of that is to not know what comes next. So for all of my dear brothers and sisters who struggle with control, I totally feel you, totally hear you. So let's just breathe into this one together. Whew. Don't know what comes next. Isn't that fun? Isn't that exciting? It's a little scary. I know, it's a little scary. But what if it was okay to not know what comes next? What if it was okay to say, I'm safe inside here. I'm okay in this moment. And I'm willing to take a step into the next moment without knowing what comes next. We do it all the time. We open our mouths to start a sentence. You don't perfect what you're going to say before you start to speak, right? You just start to talk, and then you trust that somehow the thoughts are going to all coalesce into meaningful statements that are all going to move in a certain direction. You're going to be able to communicate the sort of the spark of, you know, inspired intuition that is having you speak right now. Like we do it all the time. We do it all the time, and yet when we think about doing it, about not knowing what comes next and letting that be okay, we can get all up in our heads about it. And so just breathing into this, being okay in the I don't know, being okay in the receptivity, being in the okay of fielding and feeling and you know, like I shared a moment earlier, attuning to the field. Bless his heart, and he's still alive, he's amazing. My grandfather. So it just made me think of my grandfather right now. So my grandfather, different generation, very, very classic example of being very masculine, very, very masculine in his approach to everything. And walking into a room, and he was also hard of hearing, so this was also made it a little bit challenging, but walking into a room, and no matter what was going on in the room, he had an agenda, right? So he'd walk into the room and he would start the conversation, start asking my grandmother something, or talking to my my mother, his daughter, and you know, he would just kind of barge right in, and he had an agenda, and he needed to get a question answered, or he needed to get something, or he needed to do something. And it's such a classic example of, you know, like what so many of us can do so many times, right? We kind of walk into a space, and we have an attachment, we have an agenda. And so these last points here, not knowing what comes next, allowing, being open, being receptive, means that we get to walk into a space, and we get to actually feel the field of what's happening in the space. At a recent retreat in the Freedom Embodied Academy that some of you ladies were at, right? Laura Jo, you were there. We talked about living life like a game of double dutch. So you know that game of double dutch, right? The jump ropes, like this. You would never just dive into the game of double dutch, right? Like without kind of like paying attention first to what's the rhythm, what's the timing. What's the timing for me to jump in here and start playing the game, right? Or is there not a need for me to jump in? Are there already a couple people in there? And to be witness is to actually participate through my witness and not through the active jumping. What's my role here? How do I play the game? How do I participate, right? That's what we do in a game of double dutch. And then you're feeling that rhythm, Is it the moment? Is it the moment? Okay, now's the moment. I feel it, and you jump in, and then you're in, and then you're in. And if you mess up, that's okay, right? And you start over. What if we lived life in this way? What might open up for us if we lived life in this way? This is all a part of not knowing what comes next, of allowing, of letting it be okay, of not having the agenda. It's all a part of this, of moving through life. And this, my friends, my brothers, my sisters, is all a part of living from the feminine. So I want to hear from you. I want to know which of these 5, I'm going to repeat them for those of you who are tuned in a little bit late. I'm going to repeat for you all 5 tips or keys that we spoke about today for how to be more present and connected in your life right here, right now, right? Instead of creating this big vision for your life in 2020 or for this decade and putting all this importance on getting clarity about what comes next or what's up ahead or what your future holds, we are talking about the anti-vision here today in our conversation. We're talking about 5 things that you can do right here, right now to start to just step into more presence, more connection, feeling more alive in your life right now. Number 1 is to operate from your wholeness. Number 2 is to get in your body daily. Number 3 is to appreciate those around you. Number 4 is to drop the agenda. And number 5 is to not know and let that be okay. If you are a heck yes to any or all of those things, then put Anti-Vision 2020 in the comments, and I would love to hear which one of those you are taking action on today, because these are all things that you can start doing today to start feeling more connected and more present. So again, happy New Year. It is so beautiful to be here with you. I am sending you so much love in your day, in your week. Can't wait to connect with some of you very soon. And sending you love. Bye for now. Mwah.